At the time when you started noticing things, you were working night shift.
I saw a few things that I wasn't happy about on the days, but I didn't know the whole story of it, the before and afters. I started working nights and I was a lot more relieved about not seeing some of the things that happened. Like when you're a casual staff, you're learning, but it didn't seem right where certain things happened. When I went on to nights, it's pretty much what you don't know doesn't bother you. So it came to a point where they got us to learn the rules and regulations off by heart so we could go over all the statutory records for the shifts. What they wanted us to do there was tag where a staff has left something out or something needed to be added in. So we did that.
When these records that you're looking at, these statutory records, these are the records that have been made by day shift staff.
Yes, shifts that they're on.
Right, so these are the records of what's actually happened during the day.
Yeah,
Okay.
all incidences, whatever's happened. We had our own job to do as well, and we'd do our reports through the night, and any statutory records we'd write up for our shift. They started to get us to go over the morning and afternoon shifts entries into secure register, the daily logs for each unit. They trained us to know whatever's entered met the rules and regulations, operational rules and regulations for the running of the whole residence. Te Aorere Atatuna. When I started there, it was Lower North Youth Justice uh, residence.
You learn all the rules and the regulations in order to be able to write in for the record events that happen during the day or during the night according to those rules and regulations, that everything fits within that.
Yes, for
Okay.
operational compliance. So that's all rights for the children, all records that say if they've met the grounds to be restrained, uh, and it's use of force regulation 22. In that, you've got de-escalation, other methods. Use of force is last resort. Say if anyone's in physical risk, that they've had to use force to contain a child.
I'm interested in how it is you and staff were instructed to falsify statutory records. That I'm quite concerned about.
Yes, well, if they haven't met the grounds to be restrained by use of force, you've breached that rule and regulation. So you must meet that regulation as a staff to restrain a child with force, to take them to the secure unit. They have to meet the grounds for admission to the secure unit. If they haven't, they shouldn't be there.
So they're falsifying records in order to keep youth in secure lockup,
Yeah,
whether they should be there or shouldn't be there.
that's right. And I pointed it out to my direct line managers on several occasions that they hadn't met the grounds, yet all records were saying they had. All blame was on the youth. With learning this, I was seeing the beginning, middle, and end of any incident, and they weren't marrying up. Um, it was put on us to go through all records written up by staff during the day, by care team, the clinical staff. So what I'd see was a journal. Each shift had a journal to write up on each child. The journal over the last 24 hours would show what's happened with that youth, whether he's had a restful night's sleep, whether he's had problems during the day, any upsets, whether there's any anything that staff need to be aware of. One example I'd see YP being young person, slept well, began the day well, enjoyed breakfast, went out to sports or went off to school, no problem, nothing recorded in the journal to say there was concern. And then something would happen, the staff would write down that this boy became, maybe provoked a fight or something like that. They'd write down the youth was demanding, and it escalated all through the youth's behaviour to where he needed to be restrained, use of force, and taken to ground and admitted to the secure unit, which is section 3681B. You must meet those grounds as you do for regulation 22, which is use of force. If you haven't, that's alarm bells. What I was seeing was the child had not upset anything. The staff had escalated it. It was written up that the boy had become abusive or threatening. This wasn't in the other records, but I'm saying where they didn't marry up. So we were tasked to look through everything. So I'd see this. The youth would have a chain of events that he'd write down. The journal written by staff would be matching the boys, and then the staff, after the use of force, totally leave out any fault on the staff, any escalation by the staff. You're not supposed to talk down to them or swear at them or anything like that. So they're not going to write down that. They write down, they make it up even, that the kid escalated the whole situation to where he had to be taken down and locked and secure. I'd get to the secure unit, read that, nothing about what escalated the situation. On the staff side is one boy that was Muslim, didn't eat pork. In the staff's report, no mention of him being Muslim, doesn't eat pork. We're all trained on that, even night staff, everyone knows. The boy, all he had done was ask for something else to eat because he doesn't eat pork. He reminded the shift leader that he doesn't eat pork. He was told, eat it or starve. Hungry boy, lunchtime, everyone else is eating. He gets sent off to MPT table, which is non-participation table, where you can flag concern yourself or the staff can. So you're directed to the table means you go to the table and someone will come and talk to you and you try and work it through together. It was being used like Naughty Boys Corner, which would upset the youth again because they're singled out. Off to the corner you go. With that boy, he was frustrated, but that's the key thing I could see was going wrong, was staff would not be able to understand the youth's frustration at these times, that they see it face on as aggression and deal to it like that, where if he doesn't eat pork, that's just natural and you're telling him to eat it. How is that boy going to react to that? Sent to the naughty boys table, how does he react to that? He kicked the rubbish bin. They wrote down that he kicked the rubbish bin at the staff. It didn't happen, but they say he met the grounds to be restrained. Then I find out that through reading other reports that he was actually taken to the ground from behind by a shift leader, followed up with other floor staff. He was then pretty much dragged to secure by the knees, his knees rubbing on the ground. He had short pants on. He's telling the staff, I can walk, and they just carry on and lock him up and secure. Can we stop?